Experience the difference with Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Go Tigers!
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. The flavor says it all. Manda Fine Meats, the official smoked sausage of LSU Athletics.
This has been the FMOL Health Our Lady of the Lake on Deck Show. Exclusive live coverage of LSU Fighting Tigers softball is coming up. Here come the Tigers. Once again, from inside the broadcast booth with the play-by-play story, here is Patrick Wright.
Welcome back to Tiger Park. CC Salura for the Tigers will pitch it. And she has been very good here lately. Has only, in fact, not only, she has thrown complete games in 5 of her last 6 starts at a 220 earned run average, and pitched exceptionally well against Arizona. 7 innings, 7 hits, gave up no earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Got that win over the weekend. I want to welcome everybody watching on our simulcast here tonight on the SEC Network Plus. Appreciate you joining us for this simulcast on the LSU Sports Radio Network. With you tonight, 5 o'clock tomorrow, and then 1 o'clock on Sunday. Expecting a cold front to come through, but that's late in the night, Saturday night, so weather should be fine for the weekend. Salura will deliver, and Kennedy Bunker, the catcher, lefty batter, will lead off, and she lines it to Kylie Edwards at short. 1 pitch and 1 out. Very quickly done there. The Tiger defense, Hodge will be at third, Kylie Edwards at short, Daniel at second, Tori Edwards at first, Char Lorenz again catching for the Tigers, McKee in left, Lassiter, the former Rebel, in center, and Franklin in right. And the second baseman, Mackenzie Pickens, will bat, right-handed batter, and she will take it low, ball 1. Smokey Eds, the home plate umpire, Brett Higgins at first, and Donald Brown is at third. Wind blowing in from center field out of the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Here's the 1-0. Good hard drop pitch. Inside edge, and it is a strike called. It's 1-1. Pickens just 233 in SEC play. She was 4 for 10 against Texas A&M, had a couple doubles and drove in 3. The 1-1 is too high, and it's 2-1. Rebels had really been struggling on offense, and even though they lost all 3 against A&M at home, they kind of found their offensive stride. They had 10 hits in all 3 games, and they scored 20 runs. They hit 348 as a team. The 2-1, high chopper towards second. Daniel's got a charge. She will. She throws in time, and there's 2 down. Now, that's what Salura will do. She will throw that hard drop pitch and get you to just beat it into the ground. And that one might have even hit off of home plate, it looked like. And here's Percy Yamas, dangerous hitter and a hot hitter right now. 395 average for the lefty, 7 homers, 34 runs batted in. Homered twice against Texas A&M last weekend. Lefty bat and a big swing and a foul. Rebels have a lefty, a Bunker, then the righty Pickens, then we got 2 lefties, then we'll have a run of 4 righties. But they've got 4 lefties and 5 righties in their lineup. Quick 2 up, 2 down, lefty bat. They play her opposite field. The 0-1 sails high, and it's 1-1. Ole Miss hit 8 home runs against Texas A&M last weekend. That is the most they have ever hit in an SEC series in the history of their program. 1-1, grounder right back to Salura. She bobbles it, picks it up, has time, and throws to first, and has the out. That ball had a lot of spin off the end of the bat, and she stayed composed, knew there was not a fast runner running, and a quick 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the first. LSU will bat in a scoreless game on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take. And when I looked the oven over, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan. Early detection gave us more time to seek out information
children as a whole. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey Tiger fans 12 and younger, don't miss your chance to be a part of Mike's Kids Club, presented by Shell, the exclusive kids club of LSU Athletics. Join Mike's Kids Club for only $25. Get the official Mike's Kids Club t-shirt, free admission to select LSU athletic events, and much, much more. To learn about upcoming events and to join, please visit lsumkc.com. The Mike's Kids Club, presented by Shell.
Every Tiger knows it's not just about where you are, it's about how you play the game. At LSU Online, we bring that same grit and greatness to your education. Whether you're watching from Baton Rouge or beyond, you can earn your degree on your time from anywhere. Flexible, online, built for Tiger Nation. Visit online.lsu.edu and win where you are.
Together, LSU and Our Lady of the Lake Health are champions for Louisiana. Together we roar. Learn more at olrmc.com/LSU. Jayla Lassiter will lead off. Ole Miss has had trouble in SEC play. Their SEC ERA 10.82. And Lassiter takes strike one over the outside corner from Emily Boyer. She spent 3 years at Division II West Texas A&M and was the Division II Player of the Year last year. She was a great hitter also. They haven't really used her to bat much this year. Lassiter takes it outside, and it's 1-1. The Rebel pitchers have given up a lot of walks. That has been a huge problem for them in league play. They've allowed at least 3 walks in all but one of their league games, and they've allowed at least 7 in 8 of their 15 games. This one is high, and it's 2-1. Lassiter, meanwhile, coming in on a good run. She homered on her birthday down in Lafayette as the Tigers beat the Cajuns 8-0 on Tuesday. And she has scored a run in 11 of her last 12 games, so she's been creating at the top of the order. Pitch drops down and in. It's ball 3. Now, Boyer's numbers for the season, 3.81 ERA, 110 in the third innings, 95 hits, 60 earned runs, 59 walks, 105 strikeouts. 3-1 to Lassiter, up and in. That one hit her. But it's going to be called ball 4 either way. So officially, the official just held up 4 fingers, the umpire did. So I think Lassiter is technically going to get credit for a walk there, but she's at first for Sierra Daniel. Daniel hitting .295 in league play. 341 overall, 2 homers, 27 RBI. She's 0 for her last 8 right now, but she's been hitting the ball hard into some outs. And her previous 6 games, she was on fire. So let's see if she can find some holes tonight. First pitch is a strike over the outside corner. She throws hard, 72 miles an hour. Now, Boyer's she has some strikeouts. She will deliver the occasional or more than occasional free pass as well, but her stuff is pretty good. Here's the 0-1, swing and a miss. Looks like a up and away pitch at 66. And Daniels down 0-2. No score. Easy first inning for Salura in the top. Now LSU with the leadoff runner on. And the 0-2, way up and away, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Now, Boyer against Texas A&M last week started game 2, 7 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, 7 walks, but she had 9 strikeouts, and then pitched in relief the next day, 4 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs. Pitch is down and away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Defensively, Starr at third, Reisner the shortstop, Pickens at second, Yamas at first, Bunker catching, Applin in left, Malvin in center, and George in right with Boyer in the circle. And a 2-2 count to Sierra Daniel. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Runner going, throw down in time. So a strikeout, throw out, double play, and they're now 2 away. Bunker throws out Lassiter, and Daniel chased the same pitch she chased earlier in the at-bat. It was a rise pitch that was just up floating out of the strike zone. And the shortstop covering and the out recorded. So that'll bring up Kylie Edwards, the Tigers shortstop, with nobody on and 2 out. She takes the first pitch low, ball 1. Edwards, 347 in league play, 315 overall. LSU's best hitter in SEC games. Righty bat, tried to check her swing. I think she went. In fact, the home plate umpire agrees, and it is a strike. It's 1-1. Edwards, her last 15 games, hitting .392 after a slow start for the transfer. Here's the 1-1. Hard strike down inside edge, 72 miles an hour. And the count is a ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs, bases empty. Here's the pitch. High fly ball to left. It's hit way back. Is it going to stay fair? It is a home run for Kylie Edwards. It was hooking and the wind was pushing it, but it went around the foul pole, and it's 1-0 LSU. As Edwards now has the team lead, she's got her 9th of the season. And she got all of that one. It was a pitch up over the zone, and she knew just what to do with it. And it was way up on the Tiger Terrace. Wind was trying to push it, but it did stay fair. And here is Alex Franklin, the Tiger right fielder, 1-0 LSU. Right-handed bat. Franklin takes it a little bit low, ball 1. Franklin, 265 for the year, 3 homers, 25 runs batted in. She hasn't had a hit in her last 4 games. She's 0 for 6, but she's got 4 walks, a hit batsman, and a couple of RBI. 1-0. Check swing. It is a strike anyway. 73 at the knees. And it is 1-1. And the 1-1 to the plate. That's a changeup that bounces. 58 miles an hour on that one. So her change, about 15 miles an hour difference from the hard stuff she's been throwing. One of the harder throwers LSU has seen in a while. Here's the 2-1. That's low, ball 3 to Franklin. Well, with that homer, the Tigers have now hit 43 on the season. 3-1. That's inside, ball 4. The Tigers have their second walk of the inning, and that'll bring up Tori Edwards. And Boyer has now given up 21 homers on the season. That's a bunch. Edwards will step in, 248, 8 homers, 28 runs batted in. First pitch, changeup stays high, and it's 1-0. They have been enjoying throwing changeups to Edwards here lately. And we're going to have a visit to the circle to chat with everybody involved. Nancy Evans, the assistant coach. Hancock Whitney is the official bank of LSU Athletics. Learn more at HancockWhitney.com/LSU. Now, Boyer, Ole Miss has been kind of a mysterious team. They have been in some series. They have been swept in all their series except for at Tennessee when they won 2 out of 3. And the game they lost was a 1-run 7th inning game that Tennessee got the winning run. So they, outside of that series, they've lost everything. Boyer had, in the Tennessee series, probably her best outing of the year. 7 innings, 3 hits, and a run. Against Alabama earlier, she had a 7-inning game where she gave up just a couple of runs but lost 2-1. But in her other 7 SEC outings, her ERA is 11. So 1-0 the count to Edwards. Franklin at first, 1-0 LSU, and now time is called by Edwards. And now the 1-0. Swings at one down and fouls it. Was behind that one. That one was 72, probably below the zone. Now the count will be 1-1. Edwards trying to kind of get some consistency. She's been drawing more walks lately, 8 in her last 8 games. Hasn't homered in 6 games. 1-1. That's right through there, and it's strike 2, 72 miles an hour. 186 average in SEC play for Torrey. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch, it's up and away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Char Lorenz would bat next if the inning continues. It's 1-0 LSU. Now the 2-2 to Edwards. A changeup is up and away. You knew that changeup was coming, but it was out of the zone. The count is now full. So Franklin will get the run, and the 3-2 to Edwards. Swing and chop foul at the plate. That ball had some pretty good drop to it at 71. Good pitch by Boyer. Edwards did well just to get a little piece of it. So again, the 3-2. Fly ball hit the center. Center fielder on the run, and it's going to drop in front of her. Going to third is going to be Franklin. Edwards hit that one right off the end of the bat. And it just died out in shallow center field in front of the big Tiger head out there. Well, Edwards didn't hit it hard, but right off the end of the stick, and Lorenz will bat. Lorenz again catching. Macy Bergeron, coach said before the game, is day-to-day. She could play tomorrow. Not quite ready to go today. Lorenz starting to warm up a little bit. 429 her last 6 games, 6 for 14, and she's drawn 3 walks. Righty bat. And that one missed somewhere. It didn't miss by much. Just off the outside edge, it's ball 1. The Tigers 2 hits and 2 walks, but only have 1 run out of it, unfortunately. Caught stealing earlier, had a little to do with it. 2-0 as this pitch is low. Lorenz 259 average, 6 homers, 18 runs batted in. Runners at the corners. It's a 2-0 count to Lorenz. And that's a strike, 71 miles an hour, bottom half of the zone. Not one you want to swing at if you've got the green light. On a 2-0, it's 2-1. So Franklin at third, Edwards at first. And the 2-1, changeup. That's a beauty. Strike called, 58 miles an hour, inner half, and it's 2-2. Maddox McKee on deck if the inning continues. And the pitcher needs time. And then we'll now step back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1-0 LSU. Bottom of the first. Here's the pitch to Lorenz, low and away, and the count is full. Boyer up over 30 pitches here in the first inning. And the 3-2, down and away, ball 4, another free pass. That's 3 in the inning, and that will load the bases for Maddox McKee. 241 hitter, the left fielder. McKee has a double and a triple in her 7 hits. So with Lorenz coming in from left to catch in the absence of Bergeron, McKee starts in left and has a chance to give LSU a crooked first inning number here. Base is full, swing and a miss. Pitch tailing away at 68 miles an hour, and it's 0-1. That one's a strike anyway. McKee didn't get what she was looking for. Allie Hutchins, the on-deck hitter. Here's the 0-1. That's up and away, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So LSU with 3 walks will extend their streak early here. They've now walked 3 times, at least 3 times, in 21 of the last 22 games. 1-1. Low and away, ball 2. And it is 2-1. And then we flip it to Ole Miss. Has allowed at least 3 walks, now still in all but one of their SEC games. Now, they have played good defense. Their pitching has not been great in league play, but they've only allowed 5 unearned runs. So it has not been defensive issues. It has been other teams getting hits and then the amount of free passes that they have allowed. And there is action in their bullpen. Grayson Jordan, number 82, who has only pitched 8 innings all year. Not sure we would see her in a 1-0 first inning game. But Maddox with the 2-1 count. And the conferencing, that was obviously not a visit from a coach because they've already had one. But it was a players meeting. The 2-1. Chopper, it is a fair ball to the first baseman who is standing on the bag, and that'll end the inning. So Ole Miss will get out of all of that, giving up just the 1 run. There were 2 hits, and LSU left them loaded, but LSU leads 1-0. We're going to the second when we return on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
When you shop Albertsons.
Top of the second inning, 1-0. LSU has the lead. I think we're going to have a little bit of a delay here. I think CC Salura would like for them to work on the ground, the circle, the dirt where she lands. I think in throwing some of her warm-up pitches. Boyer, the previous pitcher, might have kind of left it in not the state she was hoping. So I think we're going to have a few minutes here for them to work on the circle. But when we do bat, it'll be George, Reisner, and Roman, 4, 5, and 6. George, an outstanding freshman. Maddie George, 380 overall, 15 homers, 42 runs batted in. Hitting well in the SEC, 275 average, and she has been on a tear. 5-game hitting streak, batting .444, 5 homers her last 5 games, and 11 RBI. She had 2 homers against North Alabama on Tuesday night, had 2 homers in the series against Texas A&M last weekend. And she is putting her name in the Ole Miss record books. George has now the single-season freshman home run record with 15, and she is chasing Lexi Brady, who finished her season or her career last year at Ole Miss, for the all-time single-season record with 17. So George needs 2 home runs to tie the single-season record for Ole Miss. And, yep, they're putting some dirt in what would be the front of the circle where Salura is going to land. And you got a couple of tall pitchers with some long strides throwing tonight. Boyer checks in at 6'1", and Salura is not far behind. Salura listed at 6'0", so a couple of long strides. So the area right in front of the circle there, kind of reworking that a little bit. 1-0 LSU. Let's look at what else is going on around the SEC. And not any surprises, really. Alabama, ranked second in the nation, gets Kentucky this weekend. Kentucky is an absolute disaster. They've only won one game, and it's Alabama 5-0, top of the fifth, down in Tuscaloosa. Top of the fifth, another team that is not doing well is Auburn, and they've only got 2 league wins, and they came over Kentucky. And Auburn is down to Florida 6-1 in the top of the fifth inning down in Gainesville. We will see Auburn here in 2 weeks to wrap up the regular season. Big series in Oklahoma. It'll be Oklahoma and Arkansas. They'll start at the bottom of the hour. Mississippi State, who LSU will see next weekend in Starkville, is at Texas A&M. And then the Saturday, Sunday, Monday series, another great one. It'll be Texas at Georgia. Yeah, so we are ready to go, and George will lead it off. Doesn't walk a lot, only once in her last 6 games, but she is up there to swing the bat. Wind blowing kind of in and across toward left field foul pole. Lefty bat, LSU plays her pretty much straight up in the outfield. She will hit a fly ball to deep left center field, and it is going to be out of here. She took the first pitch, went opposite field, and got all of it at 234 feet, and on one pitch, this game is tied. So George is now 1 home run away from their single season record. And she sat on the first pitch and got all of it. She's now homered 6 times in her last 6 games. So each team with a solo home run, and Ole Miss continues to hit home runs. They are now approaching their program season record. They've got 61 now. Here's Reisner, right-handed bat, and she will take strike 1. Reisner hitting .368 overall, .318 in SEC play, .560 her last 7 games. It's pretty hot. Right-handed bat. Reaches for it and pulls it into left, right at McKee, who will grab it. And there's one down. And that'll bring up the DP Roman. So LSU worked very hard, had a lot of traffic in the first inning, got just the 1 run on the solo homer. And on the first pitch of the second inning, Ole Miss erased that one with a swing of their own. Roman struggling a little bit. Just 2 of her last 25, but she wraps that one into center field for a base hit. Hit that very hard. 83 off the bat. That is sizzling. And Beth Torina is going to visit the circle. That was actually not a bad pitch. It was a drop pitch, and Roman was right on it. The runner at first was in the middle of telling you Roman had been struggling, batting just .080 over her last 11 games, but that one looked like a pretty good swing. And Beth Torina having a visit, so it's 1-1 score. After a very easy first inning for Salura, the second inning has had a little bit of a rougher start. And the coach will head back to the dugout. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Leilana Applin, .235 hitter, .207 in SEC play. She was 3 for 9 against Texas A&M last weekend. Was 0 for 2 against North Alabama. That snapped a 5-game hitting streak. And the first pitch drops down and in, ball 1. Now, Salura has been on a good run. Chopper to the left side, deep in the hole. Kylie Edwards has it. Throw to second is in time to get the out. I didn't think she had a chance at that, and Ole Miss wants a review of that. As Kylie was shaded toward the second base bag, had to go deep in the hole for that slowly hit ball. She backhanded it and then wheeled and threw to first, or threw to second, And on the replay, well, it's going to be close. Oh, they do not. Right, I thought Coach was coming down with the headphone signal, so they will not review that. Beg your pardon. And here is Ryan Starr, who chops it foul. The replay was going to be close. I think it was the right call. It looked like the runner's foot was above the bag while Daniel was stretching out, but it won't matter at this point because there's not a review. Starr, right-handed batter, batting eighth, will fly one to right, not deep. Alex Franklin's going to catch it, and that will end the inning. Rebels get a run on the solo homer, add another hit, and leave a runner. We go to the bottom of the second, tied at 1 on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Get ready, Tiger fans. Venture Global is proud to partner.
Getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit is another reason banking with Capital One is one of the easiest decisions ever. That is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One, NA, member FDIC. They are playing baseball off in the distance at the box, and there is no score. Bottom of the second, LSU and Texas A&M. Allie Hutchins will lead off the second inning in a 1-1 game, right-handed bat. And the first pitch is to the backstop, ball one. Hutchins still does not have an SEC hit. However, she started producing a little bit in the Arizona series last weekend. She's now played 4 straight games. She's 2 for 7, a double, but has 4 walks. So she's been taking the walk. That's a strike called at 69 in her half. And the count is 1-1, and the catcher, Bunker, is going to walk out to the circle. And now I think they're going to have to fix the dirt where Bunker lands. Where a Boyer lands. Yeah, got a good shot of it for those of you following. Yeah, again, 2 pitchers who are over 6 feet who pitch powerfully are digging up the landing spot right in the front of the circle toward home plate. And they're going to have to do a little bit more work on it. LSU Athletics thanks its corporate partners Cox, McDonald's, FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, Albertsons, Louisiana Blue, Coca-Cola, and Hancock Whitney. And we remind you that Cox is proud to be the presenting sponsor for LSU women's athletics. Well, it's a series that LSU has dominated. They lead at 58-17. LSU had a 25-game winning streak at one point in this series back in the early 2000s. LSU is 29-8 against the Rebels here in Baton Rouge. Ole Miss, though, did win a series in 2024. LSU won the first game, and then Ole Miss won the second two. And Jayla Lassiter was a huge part of the 2 Ole Miss wins. And now she is wearing the purple and gold. Tigers wearing white jerseys and pants with the gold today, and Ole Miss in all navy blue. So as they work the mound, it's now 6-0 Alabama, bottom of the 5th inning over Kentucky. Middle of the 5th, Florida 6, Auburn 1. And then the other games, Arkansas, Oklahoma will start in a few moments. Mississippi State and Texas A&M should have started already. Do not see a score there. Yep, actually now we do. It is 3-0. Texas A&M has the early lead as they play in the bottom of the 2nd. And Arkansas, they have started as well. Should have updated the browser. Arkansas is up 2-0 in the top of the 3rd inning at Oklahoma. Oh, still working on the area in the front of the circle. Hutchins she'll step in with a 1-1 count. Had a good enough start and then just really got into a funk. Her first 3 games as a Tiger, she was 4 for 7. And then from that point forward had a run where she was just 6 for 50. But she got a hit in the Arizona series and then has played the last 4 and has been on base 6 of 11 times, couple hits and 4 walks. Hopefully, going to stomp down on the dirt a little harder. Maybe that'll work here. We'll be back here tomorrow at 5 o'clock and then Sunday at 1 o'clock. LSU will be in Starkville next weekend. Always lovely Starkville at this time of the year. Rebels will be at Auburn, and then they will host Mississippi State. So they've got the same 2 opponents LSU's got the next 2 weeks, just in reverse order and reverse venue. LSU will have Auburn here. Ole Miss goes there next week. And then LSU will go to Starkville next week, and Ole Miss will host them to conclude the regular season. Well, Boyer taking some pitches. Looks like the dirt has stayed intact, so I think we will move forward. So just 2 pitches so far in the bottom of the inning, a ball and a strike. And everybody will go take their position. Nice crowd is built here at Tiger Park on an 84-degree breezy springtime afternoon. With the wind blowing in from center, kind of blowing across a little bit. Here's the 1-1 to Hutchins. Tried to check her swing on a changeup. I don't think she did. No, she did not. 56 miles an hour out in front, 1-2. So Hutchins, Hodge, and then Lassiter back at the top of the order. Reaches for it, pops it into right field for a base hit. Just got a little tiny piece of that, but put it out on the grass in shallow right, and Hutchins continues to get on base. And Avery Hodge will be the Tiger batter. That one was moving down and away, and Hutchins got just enough of it to go opposite field. Here's Hodge. 146 in the league play, 0 for her last 3 games. Showing bunt, and she will push it foul. The count's 0-1. She did have an RBI in the ULL game Tuesday night, an 8-0 LSU win. 5 innings and just over 90 minutes. LSU went down, took care of business. Outfield very shallow for Hodge. Here's the 0-1. She will show bunt, take it away, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Boyer had 10 walks in 11 innings against Texas A&M last weekend, but struck out 15. Runs up, takes a strike, 70 miles an hour, and it's 1-2. Good hard pitch, bottom part of the zone away to the lefty. Just trying to put it in play and move Hutchins here. 1-1 score, bottom of the 2nd. Pops it foul back into the net. We'll do it again. 1-2. Hodge for the year, a 169 hitter, 12 hits, 2 doubles, a home run, and has driven in 9. And the 1-2, swing and a miss, ran up on it and still came up empty. Foul tip, second strikeout. And Lassiter, who walked and then was caught stealing, and that turned out to be a big play in the first inning because Kyle Edwards hit a home run right after it, and then the Tigers got 3 more base runners. So Lassiter will bat with runner at first, takes it outside, ball 1. And they're going to have to fix the circle again. I mean, we can see it here. It's just a big divot. So it is not. It's not the pitcher being picky. It is very clearly there's a divot there, and there's pieces of hard. It's almost like hard pan that they're moving out. And this is a new one. We haven't seen this problem. So they're moving out some of the hard dirt, but they're picking it up in chunks. Salura, of course, had to have it fixed in the top of the inning, and now the grounds crew is back out again. And Jamie Traxel, their head coach, is talking with Beth Torina, and they're having a laugh about it. So just one of those weird things that you don't figure is going to happen, and it kind of does. Florida now up on Auburn 7-1, bottom of the 5th inning. Arkansas now 4-0 over Oklahoma in the bottom of the 3rd. And Texas A&M is now up 3-0 on Mississippi State. Earlier today, South Carolina beat Missouri 5-2. Missouri now 6-10 in the league. South Carolina 4-12. And our guy who's got the presser is pressing it hard as ever now. I'm not sure. A little extra emphasis. Not even sure that's going to matter. They might have to come up with a plan B. Now, LSU got their run in the first on the Kylie Edwards homer. And then Matty George blasted one to left center field on the first pitch of the second inning to tie the game. And that's where we are, bottom of the second. Hutchins is at first. Lassiter will have a 1-ball, no-strike count. And they're still out there. Jamie Traxel is picking up pieces of hard dirt. No, hopefully this will last a little while. The replacement will last a while, not the delay. Well, baseball is now Texas A&M 1, LSU nothing. Top of the 3rd. At the box and pounding it a little harder on the. I don't know what the device is called. He's got a flattener that he's trying to beat the dirt with, trying to get it in there. But it's new. We haven't seen this. It definitely will take a little bit of a rhythm out of the game, that's for sure. Folks, you can deal yourself a winning hand and play blackjack from the Louisiana Lottery. You can win up to $2,000. Louisiana Lottery celebrating 35 years of reasons to smile. You must be at least 21 to purchase. There's just a big group of people around the circle, all the Ole Miss infielders. Watching now another member of the grounds crew do a little bit of work. So it's the front, it's where the pitchers land in the front of the circle on their way to home plate. Boyer at 6'1", Salura at 6 foot. seem to have both been kind of just grinding it down a little bit. All right, groundskeepers will walk, and we're going to see Boyer take a couple of warm-ups. All right, so far so good, but we'll see. And Lassiter will step back in with a 1-0 count. A couple warm-ups. Boyer says, let's go. I think we're good for now. Catcher Bunker flashes the one finger, letting everybody know there's one out in the inning. And we are ready. Now, Hutchins not a fast runner at first base. Lassiter will bat with one away. Tigers got 3 walks in the first, but a caught stealing erased one of those. All right, pitch to Lassiter. Ooh, I don't know where that was. Just off the outside corner a little bit. It's 2 balls, no strikes. And we got the track man next to us. Our guys Antoine and Colin running it. That one missed a little bit low and away. Yep, about the same spot, a little bit lower, and it's 3-0. 1-1, tie score, bottom of the second. Even get a little flow going to the game now. Lassiter, no doubt, will take a 3-0, and that one is a strike right down the middle. And it's 3-1. That one a 71-mile-an-hour bullet for a strike, but Lassiter still up 3-1. And here is the 3-1. That is low ball 4. That is the 4th walk, and Lassiter's taken a couple. And Daniel, who struck out at a couple of pitches up and away that she chased. See if she's made an adjustment here. Now 50 pitches for Boyer, only 24 strikes, 26 balls. And Daniel takes low and away ball 1 at 68, or 66 actually, took a little off that. And Kylie Edwards on deck, who homered back in the first. Here's the 1-0 to the lefty. Chopper slowly to the right side. Going to tag the runner, throw to first, in time on the stretch. And it would be a double play to end the inning, but Beth Dorina's out and says, I want to challenge that. It was a slow roller to the right side. Pickens tagged the runner and the throw to first, and we're going to get the slow down. Oh, she's safe. Yeah, this one should be a reversal, and LSU should keep the inning alive with 1st and 3rd and 2 down. No, Ole Miss did not challenge that. I don't believe Ole Miss would challenge that. I believe LSU challenged that. He corrected himself, or is about to, but that one should be pretty clear and quick to overturn. Now, the runner going by was Lassiter, and Daniel should be given first base, and that would put Hutchins at 3rd, and Kylie Edwards would be the batter. Just a game that has not been able to develop any amount of rhythm yet. The tall in the field has changed, and that was the correct thing to do, as Daniel pretty clearly beat that by about a half step. Her foot is on the green bag before the ball gets there. So the inning will continue with Kylie Edwards, who homered down the left field line her first time. Edwards now with 26 runs batted in. The Tigers have a cluster of leaders in RBIs. Tori Edwards 28. Changeup is low, ball 1. Now, Tori's got 28. Kylie Edwards 26. Lassiter 26. Sierra Daniel 27. And Franklin 25. So nobody's got a ton, but everybody's in the upper 20s. The 1-0, line drive into right field. It is going to be caught on the run. George had to extend her arm and kept that one out of the gap and saved a run or two. And that'll end the inning. Well, the Tigers have had a lot of traffic on the bases and had a liner that looked like it was going to maybe find a gap, but George caught it. The score remains at 1-1. It'll be 9-1-2 for Ole Miss. Malvin, the center fielder, will bat. Taylor Malvin, lefty bat, 195 in SEC play. Lefty will take strike one over the outside corner from CC Salura. Malvin, third year at Ole Miss, only 8 of her 85 career hits are extra bases, so a lefty is kind of looking to put it in play and grind out some singles. Runs up, takes that one in the dirt, and it's 1-1. She had 4 hits in the A&M series last weekend and did have a double, a rare extra base hit. Well, Arkansas's lead didn't last long. It's 4-4 now. Oklahoma has tied it in the third inning. 1-1. Tapped foul at the plate, and it's 1-2. Florida has now defeated Auburn 9-1, the final there. And Alabama up 6-0 on Kentucky in the sixth. And A&M still up 3-0 on Mississippi State. Here's the 1-2, a little bit down and away, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now, Ole Miss as a team was only hitting 199 in SEC play before last weekend, and they upped that by 34 points with their big weekend offensively. Ball 3 is away, and it's 3-2. They picked up 31 hits last weekend. Full count to the leadoff batter in the third, and a chopper towards short. Edwards in front of the bag, cuts across, glides, and makes the throw to first in time, 1 down. Had a big bounce in it, and that let Kiley get in front of the second base bag and make the play. We're back to the top of the order, and Bunker. Kennedy Bunker has been in the leadoff spot for a while. Has not put up great numbers there. Just a 163 average in league play. Lefty bat. Takes ball 1 down. She was a .330 career hitter in 3 years at Fresno before coming to Ole Miss. She's batted leadoff in 15 games in a row, hitting just .229 in the leadoff spot. There's the 1-0. Check swing on a pitch inside, and it was a check swing. It's 2-0. 69 down and in on that pitch. You know, Salura known for not walking batters. And that's a changeup for a strike at 61 miles an hour. It's 2-1. Salura in 69 innings on the season, just 11 walks. And in SEC play, just 3 in 30 and a third innings. The 2-1. That's high, ball 3. 1-1 score, top of the third inning. And the 3-1, a strike inside corner to the lefty, and it's 3-2. Salura a chance to work herself back into the count here, was behind. Now it is full with the right-hander Pickens on deck. Here's the 3-2. That is low, ball 4. The rare walk from Salura. That'll bring up Pickens, who grounded to second her first time. Right-handed bat. Pickens stands in now at 275 overall. And strike one, 63 miles an hour. That's kind of in between for Salura. Usually her changeup's around 60. The harder stuff, 69, 70. Count is 0-1. And the pitch just jammed her and got it to first. Edwards will run to the bag, second out of the inning. Runner goes to second. Bunker. That one was riding in on Pickens. She just kind of fought it off and rolled it to Edwards at first base. Edwards felt good in just about taking the sure out there, not trying to get the force. And that'll bring up Yamas, who grounded one back to the circle. Lefty bat. Pitch down and in, ball 1. So 2 really difficult hitters right here. Yamas had a couple of homers against A&M last weekend. Lefty bat. Pitch is a little low and away, and it's 2-0. And then, of course, you got George on deck, who had the big swing in the second inning. So 2 outs, runner at second. They play Yamas to the opposite field. In the outfield, she inside out of that one to the left side. It's foul past Hodge at third. And while it rolls around left side, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Your home for LSU Fighting Tiger softball. The LSU Sports Radio Network. Streaming worldwide on the LSU Sports mobile app.
2 balls and a strike. The pitch. Strike outside corner, 70 miles an hour, and it's 2-2 to Yamas. Tiger Park in Baton Rouge. Patrick Wright with you here. James Mays in our Capital One studio. And again, a welcome to those watching the simulcast on the SEC Network Plus. Here is the 2-2. Down in the dirt, away, ball 3. Trying to get her to chase a changeup. That didn't happen. So now a full count will have to come. And here it is. Slow roller to the right side. Tori Edwards has it. Did a good job of jamming the lefty bat. Edwards to the bag. That'll end the inning. So the walk doesn't hurt Salura. We go to the bottom of the third. Franklin, Tori Edwards, and Lorenz for LSU in a 1-1 score. This is the LSU Sports Radio Network. PaulWhitney.com/LSU. Well, through 2 innings, Boyer has allowed 3 hits and 4 walks. You would think that would have added up to more than 1 LSU run, but that is what it is. The solo homer by Kylie Edwards in the first. Franklin drew one of those walks. It was after the Edwards homer. And the first pitch is outside, ball 1. I think Boyer kind of wanted that one, but I don't think it was in the zone. It was a little bit away. One-0. Chopper to third. It is a foul ball. Good thing for LSU because Starr made the play to first. Franklin would have been out, but it was outside the bag. And the count is 1-1. You know, the 3 games pretty competitive with A&M. 10-6, 7-5, and 10-9. Franklin will take it away, and it's 2 balls and a strike. The 10-9 game Sunday involved a late rally by Ole Miss. They came up just a little bit short. And 2-1 count. Swing and a miss. Swung through 70. Right through the middle of the plate. Now, Boyer's got good stuff. She doesn't always throw strikes with it. That has led to the walks, but low 70s and with some movement. Here's the 2-2. Reaches for it. That was a changeup at 55, and Franklin did well to just spoil that pitch. Sophomore from right down the road to Santa Ma, who had a breakout season and is hitting cleanup. Here's the 2-2. High fly ball to left. That is not deep. Left fielder is going to come in and camp out under it and make the catch. Applin with the grab for 1 down. Here's Tori Edwards. Edwards singled to center off the end of the bat her first time. Franklin just missed that one. Got it way up in the air. And 3 straight retired by Boyer going back to the last inning. And here's Edwards, swing and a miss, changeup, 57 down, and it's 0-1. All right, I think we are back after a slight technical glitch. It is now 1 ball and 1 strike. Edwards struck out. Franklin has flown to left. And there are now 2 down in the inning. 1-1 count to Lorenz. Fly ball hit foul, pulled to the left side. And the count is 1-2. With 2 outs, here's the 1-2. Chopper, third baseman, has to go up high to get it. Sets, throws, and a good play by Starr to end the inning. So a 3-up, 3-down inning. We go to the 4th, still 1 apiece on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Because we had a power outage somehow. I don't know how that happened, but the inning, Franklin flew to left. Tori Edwards struck out on 3 pitches, and Lorenz grounded to third on a nice play by Starr. And now it'll be George, Reisner, and Roman. George homered on the first pitch she saw from Salura in the second inning to deep left. She extends her freshman record for Ole Miss for homers. She's now got 16 and needs one more to tie the program record by anybody. And this pitch down and away, ball 1. I think there will be a little bit more care to George this time. Lexi Brady again set the Ole Miss record with 17 last year. Here's the 1-0. That's down and in, ball 2. Rebels have now hit 61 homers this year. Their program record also came last year with 67. So they've got a shot to reset the record 2 years in a row for homers. Jammed her, like a changeup, 62 miles an hour, pop-up foul back, and the count's 2-1. Powerful lefty. Here's the 2-1. Got the inside corner. Great pitch by Salura at 70 miles an hour, and it's 2-2. Alabama has now beaten Kentucky 9-0. That's a final in Tuscaloosa. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got her chasing down and away. Changeup moving down, and George is a strikeout victim, and that is Salura's first of the game. And that'll bring up Reisner, the shortstop, who flew to left her first time. Now coming in, Reisner's last 7 games, a .560 average. 4 homers. Chopper slowly to the right side. Daniel from the second base spot throws the first in time. There's 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Roman, who hit an absolute laser shot over Salura into center field at, I think it was 83 miles an hour off the bat. Took a drop pitch and destroyed it. She was later forced out. So right-handed batter. Salura goes high this time. Now, Roman had been 2 of her last 25 with 13 strikeouts before that. And as she stands in now, her average at 259. Righty bat. Pitch drops low, and it's 2-0. Five o'clock tomorrow, 1 o'clock Sunday. And the Tigers will be at Mississippi State next weekend. No midweek game for LSU this week coming. The 2-0. Another liner up the middle. It's another base hit. Didn't hit that one as hard. That was just 60 miles an hour off the bat. But Roman has solved the Salura mystery here. It's the George homer, and Roman's got 2 singles, and that's been it. And the 7-hitter, Leilana Applin, will bat. She grounded to short her first time on a good play by Kylie Edwards. 2 down, right-handed bat. Strike 1, right in there, 63 miles an hour. Now we've seen Salura of late using the off-speed a little more effectively, and they tend to bring it in more the second and third time through the order. The 0-1. That's another strike. That one was 70. That was not a changeup. That caught the top of the zone. It's 0-2 quickly. And Salura usually efficient with her pitches. Only 47 as we play in the 4th inning. 1-1 score, top of the 4th. Runner at first. Swinging a foul. That was a hard drop pitch that Applin got the top of. Applin now a 200 hitter in SEC play. Each team a run and 3 hits. Here's the 0-2. Again, jammed to righty. She hit a little dribbler to the right side. Daniel to first, not in time. Well, that ball took a funky spin on Daniel at the end, and she had to kind of adjust how she caught it, and that adjustment made her late to first. Yeah, it took a really weird hop. And Daniel did a good job of fielding it. She had to adjust, but there's another righty that Salura just got way in on, and just kind of she fought it off to the right side. Starr does the same thing to the right side. Daniels got this one, throw to first in time, and that'll end the inning. The Salura's doing a good job jamming the right-handed batters and got out of the inning there. No runs, 2 hits. They left 2. Bottom 3 for LSU. McKee leads it off in a 1-1 game here on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
As we become, welcome Texas woman warrior, Maureen Boyer. Maureen is on Jamesburg, Michigan native, joined the U.S. Army in 1976. After basic training, she was assigned as a finance specialist in Nuremberg, Germany. While in Germany, she competed in the 7th Army Division for field, team, and ball records in discus, javelin, and shot put. She's currently an active member of the Louisiana Women's Veterans Program here in Baton Rouge. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to these warriors, Maureen Boyer.
Bottom of the 4th inning, tied at 1 apiece. Maddox McKee will lead off. She grounded to first with the bases loaded in the 1st inning. That ended the inning. McKee with a .233 average, getting the start in left field with Lorenz behind the plate tonight. Again, Macy Bergeron day-to-day. Coach hopes to get her back in the lineup at some point this weekend. McKee shows bunt, bunts through at strike 1. And Boyer will bring the 1-1. McKee ran up and fouled it, so the count is 0-2. Now baseball is also 1-1, top of the 5th inning. Over at the box. That game moving very quickly as well. Now the dirt in front of the circle seems to have held up here for a little while, so hopefully that won't be a problem again. The 0-2 to McKee is down and away. Good take, and it's 1-2. Had 3 different delays so the grounds crew could fix the front of the circle where the pitchers land. Here's the 1-2. McKee pops it up, foul. It's going to go back out of play. It'll hit the roof. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ole Miss is now out hit LSU 4-3. Tigers 3 hits and 4 walks, but have left 5 runners on base. That all came in the first 2 innings. Again, the 1-2. Pop up on the infield. First baseman's going to come over and grab it toward the circle, and there's 1 out. As Yamas came off the bag to get that one. Hutchins led off the second with a soft single to right field. And Boyer's settling in a little bit. She's retired 6 in a row. The last base runner was Lassiter's walk in the 2nd that put 2 runners on. And Hutchins will take low, ball 1. The Hutchins season average now back up to 200. There's the 1-0. That's inside, ball 2. Since Hutchins got back in the lineup over the weekend against Arizona, I'll finish the thought here in a second. 2 balls, no strikes. very high, ball 3. She is now 3 for 8 with 4 walks, so she's been on base 7 of 12 times that she's been to the plate. She's got a 3-0 count here. And Avery Hodge is on deck. 1-1 score, bottom of the 4th. 3-0, that's a strike all the way. 70 right through the heart, and it's 3-1. 75 pitches now for Boyer. And during the 4th, she's thrown a lot, but starting to throw more strikes. 3-1. That is a ball, however, outside. Hutchins on again. And Hodge, who struck out in the 2nd, will be the batter. That is now 5 walks for LSU, and again, that has been an issue for Ole Miss pitching in league play. First pitch to Hodge is a strike over the outside corner. In SEC games, they had walked 87 in 95 innings. That is a whole lot. Here's the 0-1. It's up and away, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And 5 more tonight. Boyer in 39 2/3 innings had walked 43. And 5 tonight in 3 1/3 innings. 1-1. Fouled back on a full swing, and it's 1-2. Texas A&M still leads Mississippi State 3-0 top of the 5th. Arkansas back on top of Oklahoma 5-4 in the 5th. One, 2 to Hodge. Reaches for it and pops it over third into the grass for a base hit. That'll put runners at first and second. Hodge just reached out as far as she could and put the bat on the ball and lobbed it over the third baseman. I mean, she didn't even take a full swing. Just flicked it down the left field line. So more base runners for LSU. It'll be up to Lassiter and Daniel to try to take advantage. Lassiter has walked both times. And she checks her swing on a pitch that was a changeup that was called low, but according to the track man, that caught a lot of zone. I think the umpire was fooled, but it's 1-0. And the 1-0 to Lassiter. That she spiked that one, and a good stop by Bunker behind the plate. It's 2-0. That one hit the dirt well in front of home plate, and the infielders will gather. So not a visit from the coach, just an infield meeting here. As Boyer, as I mentioned, she had started to throw a lot of strikes, but now is starting to lose contact with the zone again. She had quite the career. I told you she came from Division II, West Texas A&M. She was 69-10 as a pitcher with a 2.39 career ERA, and she was a 3.60 career hitter with 54 homers in 3 years. They have not used her as a hitter. Very, very sparingly. She's been a pitcher. The 2-0. Oh, didn't get that call either. That one might have caught some of the outer edge. Boyer not happy, and it's 3-0. Kind of held her arms behind her head a little bit. So Lassiter looking for her third walk maybe. And she's going to get it. Pitch is outside. That one was clearly outside, and it's ball 4. So the bases are full for Sierra Daniel. LSU's got to come through and not let the opportunity go by. And now there will be a full-fledged visit to the circle. Jamie Traxel and Nancy Evans are out. Nancy Evans will talk with the pitchers. A lot of times, and this is coming from Ole Miss's folks, Traxel will come out and visit with the defense. Traxel's going to visit with the home plate umpire this time, though, and say, look, really like to get some of these close calls my way here a little bit. I think she had a legit argument on at least one of those pitches a while ago. Now, for the third time in her career, Lassiter has walked 3 times in a game. And it will be Daniel to bat. Daniel has not had a couple of particularly good at-bats against Boyer. She struck out on a pitch out of the zone in the first and hit just a slow roller to second back in the second. But Sierra's been hitting it well the last month or so and needs to get something that can get LSU a run in. The bases are loaded. And a long meeting in the circle. The crowd getting a little antsy about that. Now Traxel will talk to her infielders a little bit. Now we'll be ready to play. But that was clearly a... Traxel definitely ran that to where she got a little visit with Smokey Eds, the home plate umpire, to voice some displeasure about the zone. So here is Daniel. The infield is in. Shortstop is back a little bit. There's 1 out. The bases are loaded. Hutchins, not a super fast runner at third. And Daniel will pop it up foul left field. The wind's going to blow that out of play. Now, wind, anything to left, the wind's going to push toward the foul line, and that's what happened there. Now, Daniel has a good stroke where she can hit a fly ball to deep enough left. I think that's what she was trying to do there. But Hutchins, again, not super fast at third. Hodge at second, Lassiter at first. That pitch is high. Good job to lay off that, and it's 1-1. Those 6 walks and 4 hits. LSU's got 1 run, but they got a chance to get some here with 1 out. 1-1 score, bottom of the 4th. And time is called. Pitch clock was running down, so the Ole Miss battery needed a timeout. So we'll recycle it. Here's the 1-1. Up and away, and it's 2-1. Kylie Edwards is on deck. She has hit the ball well twice tonight. Now everybody is in the baseline on the infield. The 2-1 is outside, and it is 3-1. Oh, a walk, a single by Hodge, and another walk, and now a 3-1 to Daniel. And the 3-1. Strike 2, 70 in her half. Great pitch, and it's 3-2. Boyer got the pitch she needed there. And now it is full to Daniel. Big pitch in the game, and here it comes. And Daniel lines it. It is caught by the pitcher, and she will throw to third for the double play. That is what Daniel has been doing for a week now, is drilling the ball right at people. That ball would have been up the middle, and Boyer reached out and in self-defense snagged it and then got the out at third. We go to the 5th, 1-1 on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Well, it has been kind of one of those games for LSU on offense. Tons of base runners and just one run, and that Daniel cannot hit a ball harder. And that ball could have gone anywhere, but it went right into the glove of Boyer. Now the 9-hole hitter Malvin will lead off, and the slapper will take it outside, ball one. The LSU has left, 7 runners on base. Here's the 1-0. That's a strike called. 70 upper part. Malvin grounded to short first time. LSU hit into 3 double plays in the Arizona game Sunday, and 2 of them were like that one. A line drive caught and then turned into 2. Pitch drops low and in, and it's 2-1. A 9-hole hitter. I want to get her before you turn the lineup over to some really dangerous hitters. Here's the 2-1. Changeup. Found the outer half, and it's 2-2. Salura 1 run on 4 hits. Each team with a solo homer. And we stand at 1 apiece in the 5th. The 2-2. Slashed foul left side past Jamie Traxel. And McKee will pick it up down the left field line. You know, Kylie Edwards for LSU hit what could have been a gapper in the 2nd inning with 2 runners on. It was tracked down on a good running catch, and then that one was absolutely headed for the middle. Pitch down and in, it's 3-2. That ball that Sierra Daniel hit. As the infield was playing in, and it was nobody behind the pitcher, but did not go LSU's way. The 3-2 is ball 4. So you walk the 9-hole hitter to lead off the inning. That can be dangerous. Dudley DeBosier stands up for the purple and gold and fights for Tiger fans all across Louisiana. Dudley DeBosier proud to be an official partner of LSU Athletics. Kennedy Bunker has walked and lined to short. See how Ole Miss plays this. Lefty bat. She takes it inside, ball 1. They are not really a team that bunts a whole lot. They've only got 8 on the year. And Bunker does not have any of those. Here's the 1-0. It's high and in, ball 2. So Salura having some rare struggles with command a little bit here in the 5th. Here's the 2-0. Fouled away left side from the left-handed batter, and it's 2-1. Salura 4 innings, 4 hits, a run, 2 walks, and the 1 strikeout. And about to throw her 60th pitch. The 2-1. That's a strike inside corner at the belt-ish. Yeah. And it's 2-2. That one in the upper quadrant of the strike zone. Runner at first, none out. And the 2-2. Chopper to the right side. Daniel's got a charge, and she cannot make the play. Was trying very quickly because she knew she had a pretty fast runner trying to make the transfer and the bobble, and that'll put first and second, none out. And yeah, that one just took a funny little bounce on her at the end, but that's going to be an error. And Salura's going to have to work hard now. You got Pickens and then Yamas and George. Pickens is grounded out twice. First and second, none out, top of the 5th inning. Pitch is high, ball 1. Salura made a good pitch there, and Bunker did not hit it hard, but Daniel could not make it. Here's the 1-0. Strike called inside corner, 70 miles an hour. Pitch bottom half of the zone. Well, she could use a 1-hopper to third right now. Showing bunt, and it's off of Loren's glove. Runners will go to second and third. And with none out. And it's 2-1. The pitch was high, and Pickens went up, Lorenz went up to get it, and it popped off her glove. Infield will come in, the 2-1. Ground ball, diving stop by Daniel, throw to first, in time, run scores, runner to third, and it's 2-1 Ole Miss. So LSU, with an error and a passed ball, has given Ole Miss a chance at a run, and they took advantage. Salura just missed that one. Daniel made a great play to get the out. And now runner at third for Yamas, who was grounded out twice. One out. Change up is a strike. And it is 0-1. A leadoff walk to the 9-hole hitter. Those are dangerous. And she scores. The 0-1 is in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Good smother by Lorenz. The error didn't help, but the pass ball certainly didn't either. Here's the 1-1. Fly ball to center. Going back is Lassiter. She will not get it. It is out of here. And it's 4-1 Ole Miss. As Yamas just hit a low, hard line drive that went through the wind over the fence. And Beth Torina, I believe, is going to make a pitching change. That one was down and in, but Yamas just went and got it, and got it just over the center field fence. Lassiter didn't have a chance. In fact, it hit the top of the fence and kicked over. So a pitching change. We'll take a 90-second pitching change timeout. Ole Miss 4, LSU 1 on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Your home for LSU Fighting Tiger softball. This is the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Peyton Monticelli on for the Tigers. The first pitch to Maddie George is inside off the glove of Lorenz. The count's 1-0. Now Monticelli making her 14th appearance, 3.53 ERA. Has pitched well lately, as has most of the LSU pitching staff. Pitches a strike, and it's 1-1. Now the ball that Yamas hit, it hit the white stripe on top of the fence, and it kicked over for a 2-run homer. There's a high pop-up on the infield. The wind's probably going to push that out of play, and it does. It hits the roof. The count's 1-2. Monticelli 41 2/3 innings, 250 batting average against, 19 walks, 44 strikeouts. 1-2 to George, who has homered already tonight. That one's a little bit inside, and it's 2-2. Monticelli pitched game 3 against Arizona, 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits and 3 runs. Walked 3 and struck out 4. Pitched really well and had a couple of unfortunate things happen in the 6th inning there. 2-2, pop foul back. So a 3-run inning for Ole Miss. Just never had a good feel about it. The 9-hole hitter walks, and then bunker reached on the air, and then you had what it ended up being ruled a wild pitch. But that sparked the 3 runs. Pop up on the infield. Kylie Edwards, left side, moving around a little bit, but she's going to catch it, and that's the 2nd out. Now, Salura's final numbers: 4 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout through 69 pitches. And here's Reasoner, who is 0 for 2, a fly to left and a grounder to second. And the pitch is outside, ball 1. And LSU's down 3. It is. We've seen they can get base runners. They've had them all night. Pitch is up and in. In a very ironic twist, the baseball team gave up 3 in the top of the 5th inning, and they're now down 4-1 to Texas A&M. Here's the 2-0. Popped up foul back. Now Oklahoma's back on top of Arkansas, 6-5, top of the 6th inning. A&M still on top of Mississippi State. It's now 3-1 in the 6th inning. Two outs, base is empty. Pitch is up, and it's 3-1 to Reasoner. And the 3-1. That's a strike, and it's 3-2. So the Ole Miss offense that came to life against Texas A&M after a rough start in league play, trying to continue it a little bit here tonight. They hit 8 homers in their 3-game series. That was a program record. They've got 2 more tonight. 3-2, just fouled back into the net out of play. We'll do 3-2 again. Reasoner, the 5-hole hitter. Right-handed bat. And here's the 3-2. Fly ball to center. Lassiter drifts back and now camps out under it in front of the track. She'll grab it to end the inning, but they get 3 runs on 1 hit. It was a big one. There was an error and there were none left. Tigers down 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Bottom of the fifth inning, Kylie Edwards, Alex Franklin, Tori Edwards will be the batters trying to get LSU going. Ole Miss has made or is making a change or two. We'll see what those changes are. The home plate umpire is going to the LSU dugout. We'll see. But Boyer, who has worked herself out of some problems in this game, has given up 1 run, 10 base runners, 4 hits, 6 walks, but they've got what they needed. I think they're changing some outfielders around. Waiting for the home plate umpire to signal. Yep. So Kylie Edwards will bat. She is homered. That is the LSU run, and then she lined out to right on a very good play by George. First pitch to Edwards is up and away, ball 1. Tinley Grisham is the new left fielder. 1-0 to Edwards. That's a strike in under the hands, and it's 1-1. 92 pitches now for Boyer. And Applin is now in right field. So Applin goes from left to right and Grisham in and left. 1-1. Low and away, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Now Grisham will bat where George was in the lineup, at least for a while. 2-1. That's in the dirt, ball 3. George is in the 4-hole, and they're due to send up the 6-hole hitter, so they should get a couple innings of defense out of Grisham. So 3 balls and a strike. Tigers need base runners. Edwards with a 3-1 count. And that's inside, ball 4. The Tigers have the leadoff runner on base. 3rd time in 5 innings that's happened. And Alex Franklin, who has walked and flown to left, will bat. That is now 7 walks for Boyer. And Ole Miss has now allowed 7 walks in 9 of their 16 SEC games. Franklin takes it low, ball 1. 4-1, bottom of the 5th inning. LSU has had base runners, have not gotten the timely hit they've needed. There's a 1-0. High chopper, foul outside of third. They're going to go through with it, but that's clearly foul. The count's 1-1. Well, Tigers baseball did get a run back in the bottom of the 5th, so it is 4-2 over there, but they still trail after 5. Count to Franklin, 1-1. Swinging a foul, it'll go back, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Franklin looking to get a hit. Hasn't had one in a while. Last 4 games, hitless, 0 for 6. As we mentioned, some walks and some hit batsmen and some RBI, but not a hit. Our average right now at 263. Here's the 1-2. It bounces to the plate. Runner's going to go to second. Oh, that's not a good idea at all. And Kylie's thrown out at second. Now, the Tigers like to read those changes in the dirt, but that's a chance you just can't take right there. And Bunker has thrown out her 2nd runner of the night. It was a good catch, and then she threw it, and Edwards was clearly out at second base. So LSU gives up the base runner, and Franklin swings and misses. So, poof, there goes the rally. 2 outs. And Tori Edwards will bat. Edwards has singled and struck out. And Franklin swung at one that was about shoelace level there. Ball 1 is low. Lorenz on deck. 4-1 Ole Miss, bottom of the 5th. And it's just not been LSU's night. have played very well for a good stretch, but it has not been good tonight in a few areas. Ball 2 is low, and it's 2-0. That was the 4th strikeout for Boyer a little while ago. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Change up in the... Actually, that was not a change up. That was a hard 71 mile an hour in the dirt, low and away. It's 2-1. That was a change up. That was a swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Two outs, bases empty. And the 2-2. Wow, that just a little bit off the plate, and it's 3-2. Pitcher and catcher are kind of leaning toward the dugout a little bit. Trackman said that was just off the edge, so it looked like a good call. But it was close. 3-2. It's low and away, and LSU's got another walk. That is number 8 in the game, and that is the 12th base runner. LSU has lost a couple. Lassiter was caught stealing in the first, and then Kylie Edwards a moment ago. And Lorenz has got to undo the catching gear and come to the plate. Walk and a ground out for Lorenz. 2 down. And Lorenz takes it down and in, ball 1. Down and away, ball 2. And now the catcher will visit the circle. Join MMR, the largest privately owned open shop electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation and a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Takes a lot of imagination to figure out how you can give up 8 walks and 4 hits and only 1 run. But that is what Boyer has done to this point. Now Edwards at first, Lorenz with a 2-0 count. 109 pitches for Boyer. And the pitch. It's outside, ball 3. Destiny Harris, it looks like, has grabbed a bat and will hit for McKee if this inning continues. And it is a ball away from doing just that. Oh, a strike called at the knees. Oh, man, that wasn't even close to the zone. So LSU's gotten a couple. They did not get that one. That was clearly ball 4. Looked even worse on replay. So the count now is 3-1 to Lorenz. And she swings and misses, and it's 3-2. Pitch was a good pitch, down and in, would have been a strike. So should have been a walk, is now 3-2. And here it is. That is ball 4, and that will bring Destiny Harris to the plate to hit for McKee. And we may see her staying in left field also. Now the Edwards thrown out at second earlier in the inning, looming a little bit here, but we'll see if Harris can come up with the hit. She had a 2-run single in Lafayette Tuesday night. It got LSU on the board. Harris 306 for the year, 11 hits, 8 runs batted in, and will hit from the right side. She is the tying run at the plate. Got a little power to her. Of those 11 hits, 2 homers and a double. LSU needs a timely hit. They've gotten some hits. They've gotten a bunch of walks, 9 of them. They have not had the timely hit. And while all that happens, Arizona called a timeout, and Nancy Evans, the pitching coach, is out visiting. 113 pitches, 55 strikes, 58 balls, so not even 50% have been in the strike zone. But Boyer is an out away from escaping some more trouble. LSU has already left 7 runners on base. They've had a couple caught stealing. The only run was the solo homer by Kylie Edwards in the first. LSU now 9 walks in the game. The Tigers were 6th in the nation with 210 walks coming in, and they're probably going to bump up a little bit there, but you got to get a hit to get some of them in. Tori Edwards at second, Char Lorenz at first, and Harris from the right side. And she takes it low, ball 1. Allie Hutchins on deck if we go further. Four to 1 Ole Miss, bottom of the 5th. 1-0. That should be a strike. It is. 71 mile an hour, top of the zone. It's 1-1. Boyer ready for the 1-1. Chopped foul at the plate, and it's 1-2. Two outs, 2 runners on. And the 1-2. Strike 3 is called on a changeup at the belt. That'll end the inning. We go to the 6th, 4-1 Ole Miss on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Four to 1 Ole Miss, 6th inning here at Tiger Park. It'll be Roman, Applin, and Starr, 6, 7, and 8 to face Monticelli, who got the final 2 outs of the 5th inning. Right-handed batter who was struggling coming in has 2 hits tonight. Well, Texas A&M has beaten Mississippi State 3-1 the final in College Station. And Monticelli will bring ball 1 up and in. 7-2 now. Texas A&M leads LSU baseball as they have put back-to-back 3s on the board over at the box. (1-0) fouled back, and the count's 1-1. Harris will stay in left field for LSU as she replaced McKee. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Tied her up over the inner half, and it's 1-2. And Oklahoma now up 7-5, bottom of the 6th inning against Arkansas. They were down 4-0 early, but Oklahoma can erase that pretty quick. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Monticelli gets the strikeout. And before Applin bats, we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Your home for LSU Fighting Tiger softball. The LSU Sports Radio Network. Streaming worldwide on the LSU Sports mobile app.
Monticelli with a couple of good rise balls that Roman couldn't get to. Here's Applin, who was grounded out and singled. Right-handed bat. Strike one over the inside corner. Monticelli doing a good job working the inner half of the plate. The 0-1. Jammed her. A little pop-up back to the pitcher. Monticelli's got it. There's 2 down. And again, working inside to the righties. A little pop-up. And that'll bring up Starr. Ryan Starr, a 167 hitter with our 0 for 2 tonight, although we are going to have a pinch hitter actually here. And it is going to be the left-handed bat. It's number 34, Rachel Connors, who will hit .250 average on the season. Connors has been a kind of a late inning pinch hitter replacement type. She's 2 for her last 15, but they are both homers going back 9 games. So lefty with some pop off the bench, and ball 1 is a little bit inside. Yep, just a little bit off the plate. That's 1 ball, no strikes. LSU will have Hutchins, Hodge in the top of the order at the bottom of the inning. 1-0. That one caught the inside corner, 1-1. And the 1-1. Line drive toward Daniel. She'll catch the soft liner, and that'll end the inning. So Monticelli's gone 5 up, 5 out, 5 up, 5 down out of the pen. Now the offense has got to help a little bit. Hutchins will lead it off when we come back. 4-1, bottom of the 6th on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Starr will re-enter at third base for Ole Miss as expected. And LSU will bat Hutchins, Hodge, and Lasser. Well, if you kind of look at it, LSU's got 4 hits tonight. There has not been a lot of good contact in those hits. Some of the outs have been hit harder. Now, obviously, Kylie Edwards' home run was drilled down the left field line. Then Tori Edwards got a hit off the end of the bat into center. Hutchins got one of those to right, takes low and in, ball one. And then the ball that Hodge hit, where she just took a little half swing on a pitch 6-7 inches outside. Now Daniel lined into a double play with the bases loaded. And that's a strike, and it's 1-1. And Kylie Edwards hit one that had the potential to be extra bases that George caught in the second that was hit hard. But not a ton of great contact against Boyer. 1-1. Check swing. The pitch is high. No swing, and it's 2-1. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 9 walks, 5 strikeouts. A bizarre line, to say the least. 2-1 to Hutchins. Check swing didn't matter. It's a strike anyway. It's 70 miles an hour, and it's 2-2. Hutchins just flared one into right field her first time and then walked in the fourth. And Hutchins needs, what do we got here? She, what's that called? No, illegal pitch will be called. It'll be 3-2. She broke the hands. Home plate umpire out quickly to call that. So it's 3-2 now. So Hutchins gets a free ball. And the 3-2 is inside, ball 4, and LSU's got another walk. That is 10 of them. You got to start making them pay. And you're running out of time. 10 walks in the game. And here is Hodge, who has struck out and then flicked one to left back in the 4th inning. Just got it over the third baseman. Here's the pitch. Strike, outside corner at 66 miles an hour. Great pitch. Bottom of the zone on the edge. Here's the 0-1. She shows bunt, takes it high, and it's 1-1. Ole Miss has really only used 3 pitchers in SEC play. Boyer, Kyra Aycock, who has thrown 93 innings, and then Lily Witten, who is relieved in a bunch of games. 1-1. Slow roller back toward the circle. Pitcher will pick it up, and she bounced it, but it's in time at first. It was dug out by Yamas. Hodge, just a little check swing. And Boyer got off the circle, spiked the throw, but Yamas bailed her out, and there's one down. But it does get Hutchins to second. That was close at first, but the out was there. Lassiter has walked 3 times tonight and takes that one low, ball 1. You know, just a base hit to get a run in would be a start. You know, she has not had a hit since the 4th. Lassiter takes it for a strike inside corner at 70 miles an hour. It's 1-1. 4-1 Ole Miss, bottom of the 6th inning. 1-1 inside, too far, and it's 2-1. $127 pitches for Boyer. Sierra Daniel on deck. Here's the 2-1. Chopper left side, shortstop's got it, and she will not make a throw anywhere. Was going to throw back to second to make sure that Hutchins didn't go too far, but it'll be a base hit for Lassiter. And Hutchins had to stay put to make sure that ball was going to get through the infield. But I think Reasoner realized she was so deep in the hole that she wasn't going to make a throw to first. So first and second, one out. Daniel lined into a double play in the 4th. And she swings and misses at one down and away, and it's 0-1. Daniel had a couple of tough at-bats early and then hit that hard liner back to the circle that Boyer caught and got a double play at third. That was with the bases loaded. Here's the 0-1. Way outside, 1-1. Five hits, 10 walks. Here's the 1-1 to Daniel. Ground ball to second. To second for 1. That's all they will get. Tigers will have them at the corners with 2 down. So Pickens got it to Reasoner. And it's up to Kylie Edwards to try to get something out of this. Edwards homered in the first, lined out on a running catch by George in the second, walked in the fifth. And we're going to have a visit to the circle by the catcher. Boyer has been walking a tightrope all night long. And LSU's got a chance, but there's 2 away in the inning. Down 4-1. But a chance to get something. Alex Franklin on deck. She struck out her last time. So Edwards looking to get a run or runs in with 2 down. Pitch is low, ball 1. She homered down the left field line in the first. That was LSU's only run. Tigers have left 9 and have 2 on here. Here's the 1-0. That's up and away, ball 2. Just needs someone to break through and get that big hit. It's 2-0. That's a strike at the knees. Got the bottom part of the zone. It's 2-1. Looked like a good call. And the 2-1. That's a little bit low. Just under the zone, and it's 3-1. Would Boyer walk in 11th? She does, it'll load the bases. Here's the 3-1. Fly ball out into shallow left center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. And it will score a run. It is now 4-2. So Edwards comes through with a hit to drive in a run, and that'll put runners at first and second. Didn't get all of it, but just a little floater out into left center. She was jammed, but Hutchins will score. Lassiter had to stop at second. And here is Alex Franklin looking for a hit that she's not had in a few games. Struck out in the fifth, walked in the first, flew to left in the third. Tori Edwards on deck. And Bryce Neal, I think, is going to call an offensive timeout here. Tiger fans, you think you have what it takes to be a true Caniac maniac? Prove it at the next home softball game to win a prize pack courtesy of Raising Cane's One Love. It is now 4-2 Ole Miss. And a base hit could bring them a little closer, and a gapper could tie this one up. Franklin can do that. Not as much lately, but has the extra base pop. 4 doubles, 5 triples, 3 homers. Kylie Edwards now with 27 runs batted in, just 1 off the team lead that Tori Edwards has at 28. So here is Franklin with 2 on and 2 out. Right-handed bat. And strike 1 inside corner that looked like it was off the plate. It's 0-1. They're trying to work the LSU batters in. That one worked. Here's the 0-1. Chopper up the middle into center field. Base hit. Lassiter stopped, and the bases are going to be loaded. Well, I thought Lassiter was going to get the green light home, but Sandra Moten kind of held her up. The throw came through and was kind of bobbled a little bit. And the center fielder, Malvin, made a good charge. But now Tori Edwards will bat. The bases are loaded. 7 LSU hits. Tori with a well-placed hit can give them a tie game here. And ball 1 is outside. Edwards has singled, struck out, and walked. Now this is Boyer's game here. All it takes is one big Edwards swing to turn this around. Here's the 1-0. Line drive down the right field line. It's going to be in for a base hit. It gets by the right fielder, and it's down in the corner. It's going to clear the bases. Edwards around third. She's headed home. She will be safe. And it's an inside the park home run, a grand slam. And LSU has a 6-4 lead. Edwards lined it down the right field line. The right fielder, Applin, dove for it, couldn't get it. It rolled behind her. The bases cleared. Sandy was waving Edwards around third, and she chugged in. And LSU leads it 6-4. So Edwards goes opposite field. Applin, the ill-advised dive. And the ball got past her, and an inside the park grand slam home run for Tori Edwards. That has happened once before in LSU history. Raylene Gutierrez had one at Southeastern a few years ago. Now the umpires are talking, and I cannot imagine. Now, the umpires are talking. That's never a great sign, but I don't know what they could be discussing unless Ole Miss wants to challenge a runner leaving early or something. But if everything stands at 6-4 LSU, as LSU finally, it looks like, has gotten the big hit at the right time, and who better to get it than Tori Edwards? Well, what are we discussing? Umpire's going to tell us. I have no idea what he just said. What did he just say? But, Coach, and Beth Doreen is saying, look, they've only got 30 seconds to challenge this. So hold on for a second. They've got to. Beth Dorina does not look pleased at all. Wait, what happened? Well, I don't know what they determined. We're kind of discussing it in the booth, and so it does not look like there will be a challenge. Again, I could not understand what the umpire was saying. He's mic'd up. We still couldn't understand it. But everything's gonna stay the same, so no review of anything. 6-4 LSU. And Char Lorenz will bat. LSU finally made them pay. Pitch is up, ball one. So now 8 hits, 6 runs, and the 1-0. It's high, ball two. So inside the park, grand slam with 2 outs in the inning. And there's what looked like a strike. That was all over the plate, and it was called a ball, so it's 3-0. And the 3-0. It's high, ball 4. The 11th walk. And that'll bring up Destiny Harris, who struck out back in the 5th inning as a pinch hitter for McKee. 5-run inning, 6-4 LSU. And the pitch popped up foul back. Harris had a good cut at that. Now, with that home run, Tori Edwards has retied Kylie Edwards. They've done that a couple times this year. They both homered in the same game to stay even with each other in the home run race. They've each got 9 now. The pitch is low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 9th batter of the inning. a walk, 3 singles, and the grand slam. Here's the 1-1. Chopper to the right side. Second baseman's got it. Throw to first in time. That'll end the inning, but the Tigers get 5. And we go to the 7th inning. It has changed. Tigers will be looking to hold on to get the win in Game 1. It's LSU 6, Ole Miss 4 on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Something new.
We go to the 7th. Peyton Monticelli is back out to try to win it. I would not be surprised if Jaden Heavner would be called upon if Monticelli gets in any trouble. But she has gotten 5 up, 5 down, and the crowd buzzing. It is Malvin, the 9-hole hitter, who walked and started the trouble in the 5th inning. And she will take strike 1 over the outside corner. Oklahoma beats Arkansas 8-7. They are finished. We are the last game going here. Lefty bat. Here's the 0-1. A little bit up and in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ole Miss had a 4-1 lead when Monticelli came in the 5th. She got the final 2 outs and then got them 3 up, 3 down in the 6th. Malvin, 3-0-1 hitter. Oh, high chopper left side is going to be a base hit. Yep, just a high chopping bouncer to the left side, and there was Kylie Edwards fielded it deep in the hole, but she had no chance. So the 9-hole hitter is on again, and the 7th inning will be interesting. And you wouldn't have it any other way. Though Bunker, the catcher, will bat. She reached on an error back in the 5th inning and scored a run. Here's the first pitch to her. Lefty bat, she fouled it back. Now, Malvin, good job. That's what 9-hole hitters do. They're pesky, and they get on base, set the table for the top of the order. Yamas and George have both homered in this game, and LSU has a chance to, barring a double play, they will definitely have to face Yamas. Here's the 0-1. Check swing and hit her bat. It's a foul, and it is 0-2. Oh, 0-2 count, top of the 7th inning, 6-4 LSU. Here's the 0-2. Line drive, base hit into right. And that's going to put 2 on. Well, Ole Miss not stopping. And Monticelli's given up a couple. No movement out of the LSU dugout yet. And we're probably going to have a pinch runner for Bunker. That's the tying run, so she will be running at second base. Running at first base, I beg your pardon. It's number 10. And number 10 happens to be Izzy Rediger.
Running at first base for the Rebels, number 10, Izzy Rediger.
So Rediger will run. And it'll be Pickens and then Yamas and then George. So this will not be easy. That ball was very well struck by Bunker in the right field. Pickens 0 for 3, but she did have a ground out RBI in the 5th that gave Ole Miss the lead. 6-4 LSU in the 7th. And here is Pickens, who is a 271 hitter. Will she try to bunt? Again, that's not what they do a lot. She does not show it, and it's up high, ball 1. Pickens has bunted 3 times. That leads their team. They've only got 8 on the year. Here's the 1-0. That's a strike inside corner. It's 1-1. None out, 2 on in the 7th. Here's the 1-1. Up high, ball 2. Monticelli's got to find strikes. Got 5 in a row, but then gave up singles to the 9-1 hitters. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. Inner half at 69 miles an hour. It's 2-2. Would love to get that first. You got to get the first out somewhere. Righty bat. Lorenz wants it inside. The 2-2 is a pop-up that should be in play in foul territory. Edwards is over. She's going to grab it as she gets to the screen, and there's 1 out. Good running catch by Tori Edwards as she was running toward the net on the first base side. Got a good jump on it. Lorenz was kind of in the area. Here is Yamas, who hit a 2-run homer in the 5th off Salura. And Monticelli will pitch to her. And Beth Dorina is going to call timeout before that happens. So will there be a change or will there just be a conversation? I think we're going to have Heavner out of the pen. We will. Let's take a 90-second pitching change timeout. It'll be Heavner to try to lock it down when we come back. 6-4 Tigers on the LSU Sports Radio Network. Well, Jaden Heavner will come out of the pen. She's got a save this year. A 2.38 ERA, has been outstanding here lately and needs 2 outs against a couple of lefties who have both homered tonight. 2-run lead, 2 runs on. 2 runners on. Pitch to Yamas is up and away, ball 1. Yamas has grounded out twice and then homered over the center field fence back in the 5th inning. And that chased Salura from the game. 1 ball and no strikes. Lefty bat, lefty pitcher. And the pitch. It's a strike at the knees. Breaking pitch, 71 miles an hour. And it is 1-1. Llamas hit her 8th homer earlier. And Maddie George, who's got 16, is looming. The 1-1 fouled back, and it's 1-2. Huebner has thrown a lot of complete games lately. Called upon just to get 2 outs here. Had a 5-inning no-hitter at ULL Tuesday. Here is the 1-2. Slide to check her swing. She went around on the pitch up, and there's 2 down. The third base umpire confirmed it. And with 2 down, it will be George who will have to re-enter the game. And on the replay, that was definitely a swing. And here you go. Hot pitcher and a hot home run hitting batter with the game on the line here in the 7th. George homered off Salura in the 2nd, then she struck out, and then she popped up to short against Monticelli. So the 3rd different pitcher she will see tonight. 2 on, 2 out. Top of the 7th, 6-4 LSU. Here's the pitch. Strike 1 over the outside corner, a 71-mile-an-hour BB. Well, George went opposite field into that wind that is still blowing in from left center. The freshman awaits the 0-1. Swing and a miss on a pitch way up out of the zone, and it's 0-2. The Fish were biting big time that time. And the crowd will come to its feet. Huebner can throw it just about anywhere she wants to here. Here's the 0-2. Strike 3 called inside corner. Ball game is over, and LSU wins 6-4. As Huebner comes in and gets the save. 2 strikeouts. And LSU comes from 3 down and wins this ball game 6-4. And you never know what you're going to see at the ballpark on a given night. We saw some interesting things here tonight, and LSU found their way to the right end of it. 6-4. We'll be back to start the postgame after this on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Champions make plays on the field and in life. With LSU Online, you can keep your career moving, earn your degree, and still run your own game plan. Learn anytime from anywhere and take the next step toward your